Hi, I'm Paul from Worm Planet, and my friend Glenn.
G'day, Paul.
Oh, Glenn.
How are you?
You're here.
Lovely to see you.
Didn't realise you were coming.
I was just nearby. I thought I'd pop in.
You can give me a bit of a hand.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Okay. Look, we're here today to talk to you about our worm farms and our worms, and we'd just like to take you through how we put our worm farms together. So we'll explain what the pieces are and how that's all done. Firstly, when you order a worm farm from us, they'll arrive in a box like this, and these are the parts that you'll get. First, in putting them together, what you need to think about is having the pedestal on the bottom. We then have a moisture control tray and a tray to hold that glass. Well done, Glenn.
Thank you.
That was good. You've done that before, haven't
Practicing.
you? Yeah.
Okay.
But before we do that, we've got something else to do. In your box, you'll receive a plastic bag. It'll have a tap and 4 wing nut screws. Now what we do is, we have to attach this to the base with the 4 wing nut screws, which are just falling on the ground. Can you help, Glenn?
Yes.
I'll pick this one up.
You get that one, I'll start.
Oh, it's right under too, by jinkies.
You there, Paul?
Oh, here I am, yes. Okay. We put 4 of these. I should explain, actually, while Glenn's doing that,
Yeah.
we actually got an instruction manual, so you won't have to rely on what we tell you.
It's a great
rely on what
manual.
the user manual says. And that goes through step by step how to actually put this together. I probably could also explain while Glenn's putting those together quickly that we have a number of different colours. We have the green worm farm, the beige one that we're putting together here now, and a pink one which we haven't got yet. We'll be donating $10 from the sale of all the pink worm farms to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
And we do have it available. We just haven't got one to show at this very stage.
Yeah.
A very worthy foundation. So certainly jump on and have a look at the great looking farm.
They are.
Particularly for those maybe they've got it on the balconies looking for a bit of colour, something a bit brighter.
Yeah.
So it's a great option, that's for sure.
Yeah. And look, I probably should mention too, I guess, that when you're looking to locate these worm farms, we recommend that you put them in a cool place, out of the sun, and you'll have a lot more success with them. How are you going there, Glenn?
Good, yeah, I'm
good.
nearly there. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fiddly. That manual, as Paul mentioned, is great. It also runs through what the worms like to eat, what they don't like to eat, and also those things that he's mentioned about the location and any other little bits and pieces that will be helpful to have a successful worm farming experience.
Yeah.
And doing a bit to assist in the environment and produce great natural fertilisers and all those sorts of excellent benefits.
Yeah. Look, there are other things that come in the box with your basic worm farm package. They include... Oh, well done, Glenn.
Thanks very much.
You did a nice job too.
Good on you.
We've got the coconut, which we'll explain how that works in a minute. We've also got a tap assembly, which I think we can probably put on now, Glenn.
Right.
So that one's got the hole on the front there, Glenn, I noticed.
The moisture tray with the hole there, which lines up with this one. It sits in there straight as is.
Yep. We then have the tap.
And it slides in. I'll show this in a bit more detail a bit later, but it simply fits over the top.
Now the idea while Glenn's doing that is we like to capture the moisture out of our farms. That can be used on your gardens, pot plants, and that'll all be collected. So you collect that in a small bucket, container, jar.
We'll show once you have the farm set up, the tap there, we actually recommend that you put a small bucket under it and leave the tap open so that the liquid can just freely pour into the container. And because if you do have it closed and an excessive amount of the fertiliser builds up, if you don't have that open, you could jeopardy of drowning some of your worms. Yeah. So we do recommend that we just leave this open so it can run freely into a container. Yeah. So that's the tap on.
Yeah. Now the exciting bit is we've got 3 working trays. You'd only put one on to start with, so we might use that one, Glenn.
Sure. Thanks very much, Paul.
And what we do recommend is we've got these sheets. We put these between that first working tray and the collection system. That will stop the worms themselves going through the collection system. We'd rather them do the good work that they do in the working tray. So
it helps filter
you'll get one of
liquid
those.
As well.
You'll get one of those with your pack.
We can actually show how that goes on if you like.
Sure.
Just for the... Ta-da!
That looks like your hanky, Glenn.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I cleaned it. So it just sits on there simply like that.
Yeah, good work. Now, a lid.
We do have a lid which is very well aerated to ensure that the worm farm stays aerobic and not anaerobic, so it has multiple ventilation points. But if we want to go through the next step with newspaper.
We do. Yes, now we're just going to show you now how you would actually prepare the first working bed for your worms. As Glenn said, we'll put some newspaper on the bottom of this tray. This does assist.
Just a bit of basic bedding to hold the coconut fibre in and the food scraps while the farm gets established.
Yeah. So you can see we've just arranged it over the bottom of that tray. Now, we'd probably like to tell you a little bit about our worms. They'll come in a box like this, and inside that box will be a calico bag.
We have one here available actually. For a box like this.
A box like that.
With a bag in it like this?
Yeah. Yes. Now these come through Australia Post. We try not to post them towards the end of the week so that they don't sit around the post office on the weekend. We mail these out on a Monday, and generally you'd expect to get those within a couple of days of being posted. So, Glenn, do you want to just put them in there for us?
There's a little bit of coconut fibre in here.
Yeah.
So we might just tip these straight in.
Yeah. And just before you do it, when I'm preparing the coconut fibre, how wet do I need to have it?
You want it so it's just damp, so it's not soaked in water. You'll be able to put it this way: if you put it in, give it a bit of a drizzle with a watering can or a misting bottle, and you pick up, you squeeze it, a few drops of water come out of it. So right. It's damp but not wet.
So all I need to do is get this out.
Get it out.
Get it moist.
Sprinkle it in the tray.
Over the tray.
Probably like a watering can or a misting bottle. Just give it a bit of a squirt and a little bit of a stir to make sure it's all damp. If it's not each day, just give it another squirt until it is at the point where it stays damp. It's very good at retaining the moisture.
Yep.
That's why the worms like it. And the worms actually do eat it. It is actually a food source for them.
And how often would you inspect the worms to see how they're going?
Look, in summer I'd recommend inspect them every couple of days. Just a quick look, check they're still moist and they've got adequate food. And it sort of talks about that in the manual as well. In winter they're less active. They're still active, but a little bit less, and obviously it's easier for them to retain the moisture.
Yeah.
So will I tip away?
You know what? Can I just see if we can just put that down? It might be easy to see, perhaps. Move it aside.
Sure.
So we're just going to tip those into there.
Bring that back here a bit.
Nice worms, Glenn.
Lovely worms. Very hungry. Good consumers.
Now we grow these. We grow these
in our own beds. They're a mixture of tigers, reds, blues, some European night crawlers, some garden worms. So they're a real good mixture. There is some of them have an occasional African night crawler. So they're a good mix of worms. All very good at composting. Very active, very fast breeding worms in the right condition.
And
so
how many would we expect to get in a bag?
That's roughly, that quantity there is a 250 gram pack, which comes with a starter pack, which is approximately 1,000 worms. So they'll be off and running, a bit more coconut fibre, and they would start being fed, and off they go.
Good looking worms.
Great worms, love the worm. So that will then just sit on top. As I say, give them a bit of food.
Yes.
We throw in a few
what would you start them off with? What sort of food?
Look, it's something, the more finely diced it is, the better. Any lettuce, cabbage, carrot, potato peelings, anything like that. The only things I'd try and avoid, meat and bread products, just so you're not attracting any rodents. What
about citrus products? Too much citrus products?
Citrus and onion, garlic, and try and avoid.
Is that because they're too acidic?
Is because they're too acidic, and they like to be at a pH level of about 6.8.
Yep.
So we try and avoid those. If you do move down to being a system where you want to utilise all those scraps, you can look at using our Bokashi bin system, which we can show at a later date, which you can then put onions and citrus and everything with your worms. Yeah. But at this stage, you just avoid those, and it does outline all those particular products in that manual as well.
Yeah, and probably important ones. We do have that conditioner, and that's to help manage the acidity.
We do have, in particular in the starter pack. I might just get my assistant Zali to pass me a bottle of the worm conditioner over there, which is a combination of dolomite with a few other special ingredients that assist in their digestion, speeding up their metabolism. Yep. And it's clearly directions there in regards to 1 or 2 tablespoons a week to be sprinkled over the top. Helps keep that pH level neutral, and also increases their metabolism.
Right. So
Great
I've put my
price.
boxes together. I've got my newspaper.
Yes.
Put my worms in there.
Yep.
I've got my moist coconut fibre. Give them a bit of a feed.
Yes.
Put the lid on.
Lid on from there.
And put them in that nice shady spot I found around the back of the house.
Keep them cool.
No sun.
They can be kept indoors, can be kept outdoors on a balcony, as long as they're out of the sun.
Yeah,
we don't want
pretty
them getting too
important.
hot.
Pretty important.
Because they will get very cranky and leave. You can, being that it's such a durable plastic which is UV rated, you find it's a particularly hot day in some areas, we're 40 plus degrees, quick hose down. Some people even put a small block of ice in there in those really extreme conditions. Otherwise kept in the shade and they go very, very well.
Sounds like good advice.
Easy. So then as the worms become more active, breeding, eating more food, and it's time the tray fills, and it's time to add the second tray. It's really as simple as we'll placing the tray on top of what's already there and just putting in a new lot of food starting the tray. The worms will then move up and down between the tray as they're attracted to the food source, and the same process will happen. When this second tray fills, and not every worm comes up, there's always some stragglers, but as the second tray fills again, put on the third tray, move the food source into there. Give them a couple of weeks, they'll move up. Then it's the opportune time to take out one tray and extract some castings. We have the most fertile, nutrient-rich soil that you'll find anywhere on planet Earth in this tray, which is great to sprinkle around your plants, into the veggie garden, mix it through with the soil, whatnot. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So they're very, very easy to manage. As long as they've got food and some moisture, you really can't go wrong. And then that's as easy as it is to put them together, and that's a prime example of the lime green unit, the retro green and the beige, and as I was saying, we've got the pink, but really that's it.
Yeah.
They're great.
Thanks, Glenn.
So thanks very much for watching our video today. We certainly hope you gained some valuable information from the team here at Worm Planet. And Paul, where can they find out some further information?
Glenn, they can go and visit our website. That's wormplanet.com.au.
Fantastic. So a lot of information and our contact details there and available. So we'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks.